Which button is the button you're supposed to push? Point to it. No!
Welcome to District Deep Dive, where we take a look at the history, culture, and political climate of each of Panem's 13 districts. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at District 7, Panem's own personal lumber yard. District 7 is perhaps best known for vast forests, with its territory encompassing what is modern-day British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, plus the U.S. states of Montana and Washington. Or, to put it in shorter and simpler terms, the Pacific Northwest, a region heralded in even our time for its flourishing woodlands. Despite being Panem's fourth smallest district, boasting a meager population of 26,000, District 7 has 115 operative mills, each holding roughly 226 workers if we divide the district's population evenly. And yet, although it can be inferred the majority of District 7 citizens are expected to participate in the logging industry, District 7 remains the fourth poorest district in Panem, claiming 63,000 tesserae. Why District 7 is so destitute isn't too difficult to infer. Panem is supposed to have been forged following a series of ecological disasters and global conflicts. And given how drastically these disasters have altered the physical landscape, it's not difficult to imagine this would just as drastically alter the distribution of natural resources. It's fully possible the quality of District 7's lumber has experienced an extreme decline, as high pollution makes wood weaker while somewhat ironically making the trees themselves larger. This is a phenomenon that forces District 7 into a unique conundrum of having to work harder in order to produce a product whose monetary value is only ever going to decrease under their current conditions. Little is known in regards to the day-to-day lives of District 7 citizens, but the little that we do know can be inferred by the tributes and the victors that we encounter. Upon meeting Victor Joanna Mason, Katniss muses that she must have been wielding axes from the time that she was a toddler, suggesting that District 7 children take part in logging from the time they have the dexterity to wield the tools necessary to do so. Axes, saws, and so forth. This idea is further supported by the fact that 5 of the 6 District 7 tributes encountered throughout the series favor axes as their weapons, and are capable of wielding them with deadly efficiency, suggesting they've used them for a significant percentage of their lives. This early exposure to a common arena weapon arguably provides District 7 tributes the strongest advantage in the games next to the career tributes, allowing them an opportunity to bypass the customary no-training clause. The comfort and ease with which they use their weapons rivals that of Katniss and her bow, with them likely having an equal amount of experience with their axes. This, combined with their strong tree climbing skills, provides them a notable advantage whether they choose to bolt and hide at the first sight of danger or hold their ground and fight. Physically, District 7 tributes are typically described as being long-limbed and slightly built, although whether or not that can be attributed to malnutrition or the fact their ability to work is contingent on their ability to climb and navigate thin, spindly branches is difficult to determine. Yet despite their small frames, tributes often tend to wield remarkable strength, with Joanna being exceptionally skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Even as early as the 10th Hunger Games, Tribute Lamina displays the ability to simultaneously swing an axe while precariously balancing on a horizontal wooden beam in a manner doubtlessly reminiscent of balancing on branches while hacking at the ones above. You would imagine with their agility, strength, and pre-existing skills, they'd be considered strong contenders within the Hunger Games, and yet, interestingly enough, they're overlooked more often than not. Perhaps the most interesting aspects of District 7 Tribute's strategies are their abilities to not only utilize their surroundings to their advantage, but their perception. Tributes Joanna Mason, Lamina, and Treach initially appear meek, forgettable, minimal threats, only to display a wide array of deadly skills. They are shown as being remarkably perceptive yet patient tacticians, having both the discipline to wait for the perfect moment to strike and the aggression to fight till the last possible moment, even when impossibly outmatched and outnumbered. For all the times they've been perceived by the capital as weak and forgettable, they've proven themselves again and again in the ring. So why does a district that should have such a sizable advantage seem to consistently fare so poorly? According to Joanna, at the time of the reading of the Quell cards, she was the only living female victor in District 7, when one would naturally expect them to have the largest numbers of victors aside from the career districts. When it comes to the other districts that experience this phenomenon, usually the answer lies in extremely high rates of childhood malnutrition or industries that traditionally yield high rates of childhood injury, both of which would theoretically apply to District 7. However, there is yet another unique conundrum in that lumberjacks traditionally suffer hearing loss, and given the lumberjacks in District 7 don't seem to use any form of hearing protection and that all citizens begin working lumber early, it's possible that many of the District 7 tributes experience hearing loss. Then again, it's equally possible they just draw a bad hand. In Katniss's games, both District 7 tributes are given fairly good odds and simply find themselves physically outmatched by the careers in the bloodbath. This fierceness and resourcefulness isn't just unique to the tributes, with Mockingjay Part 2 establishing the entirety of the district shares a similar toughness and tenacity. In the book, District 7 eagerly clings to the promise of the Mockingjay, and starts to openly revolt even before the Quell cards are read. In the film, after the release of the first propo promoting the rebellion, The capital retaliates by increasing District 7's quotas and extending their work shifts by 2 hours, likely with the hope that in working the district to the bone and eating into every possible spare moment of their time, the possibility of promoting a successful resistance movement will be squashed. And yet, if anything, this attempt to further oppress the district only invigorates them further. In an incredibly powerful show of solidarity, the lumber workers charge the peacekeepers and climb as far as they possibly can up, knowing full well that many of their number will be gunned down in the process, but perceiving the potential victory, eliminating the people that have driven them like cattle, as worth any risk. Their resounding cry as they reveal their reason for retreating to the treetops, detonating a series of bombs on the ground floor laid out in wait for the peacekeepers below, beautifully reiterates the rationale that fuels their ferocity and vigor, that if they must burn, their oppressor burns with them. Thank you all for taking this tour of Panem with us, and if you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And here's an extra special thank you to our Patreons. What we do would not be possible without your support. If you would like to consider joining them, the link is in the description. Thank you all so much for your time, and have a wonderful day. May the odds be ever in your favor.